Baking in gas oven does not brown the top. I need advice from those who bake in gas oven without fan. I bake on the middle rack and have an oven thermometer. My oven is -20 deg off. My cakes get baked darker on bottom and paler on top. Cookies can get burnt at bottom if I wait for them to change color on top. The result is that the cookies, puff pastry are not crisp, the sheet cakes are sticky on touch when they cool down. Really need advice from those who had faced and overcome this. Many thanks. Edit. What I really want to know is how to increase the top heat. The cake or pastry is getting baked faster at bottom, but since top heat is less though the cake rises fine, it does not get browned on top. If I wait longer for it to brown, it starts getting burned at bottom.
This is an issue I've had to come to terms with myself. I spent most of my catering life spoiled by having a massive fan-assisted electric ovens with space for 24 trays at once. Then one day I left it all behind to work in a tiny two-chef kitchen where all we had was a bottom-heated gas oven. The first 6 months was a nightmare. It's still not easy even to this day, but I'll share a couple of tricks me and my colleague have found. It's all about the airflow. Forget about the middle shelf for baking, it's useless. It's there for roast joints and stuff. Get your baked goods on the top shelf. The reason you are not getting brown tops is all the heat is hitting the bottom of your tray. By the time it reaches the top of your oven and bounces back down to your food, it's nowhere near the temperature required. In order to help cushion the bottoms of your food and direct the heat towards the top, you need to put a tray slightly larger than the tray you are cooking on the shelf below. You can add water to this tray for bread and Yorkshire puddings, as the steam helps regulate the heat also. But when cooking pastries, I find it makes the pastry more likely to split and crack. Locate the thermostat in your oven. In ours, it's at the top right, in the middle. Always ensure there is sufficient space around it for the heat to hit it. If it's blocked in any way, you'll find the oven just keeps pumping heat out. It'll be 300 C at the bottom, but the thermostat will still think it 100 C. Sometimes you will find the tops are now cooking perfectly, but the bottoms are a little less done. At that point, you will be safe to either move the food down a shelf to help crisp the bottoms, or if making scones, you can safely flip them over just to finish off. Good luck. It sounds like your oven may be miscalibrated. I would get an oven thermometer and check to be sure it's heating properly. A couple of things to check. 1. Make sure you're using the middle rack in your oven so that the heat can circulate. 2. Make sure you're using a pan that doesn't take up the entire rack. Space around the sides will allow for better circulation. Possible solutions. Try setting your oven temperature 25 degrees less than what your recipes call for. A lower temp will aid in even heating. Place a pan of water on the rack below the product you are baking. The steam created will help even out the oven's temperature all around. This is good for cookies and cakes, but if you're attempting bread, macaroons, or more delicate pastries, the added moisture could affect your end product. A baking stone placed on the bottom rack and preheated with the oven will allow for a bit of a buffer in heat fluctuations. A pizza stone works great, or any unglazed quarry tile from the hardware store.